Hey friends, welcome to my channel. I realized a couple of days ago that I don't really talk about my writing, and that's a side of my creativity. So I haven't talked about my struggles. I haven't really talked about what I do. I have a handful of books on Amazon.com, and I'm inserting pictures of my Amazon page, as well as some of my books. A lot of my books are how to raise goats. My heart went out into that one, and also my soap making books and my lotion making books. I'm in a couple of other people's books. Some of them are books on grief, and you'll see a picture of that book on my Amazon page as well. I think I'm out in 3 or 4 books out there, various books. I've submitted stories. I have 2 active blogs. I have another blog that should be active, but I don't keep up with it. And I have an inactive blog, which is Annie's Goat Hill. There's no purpose for me to serve on that blog any longer, but it does get between 1,000 and 3,000 visits a month, so I'm pretty happy with that. I journal. I handwrite journal. I have journals everywhere. And also included in some of my clips is the latest journal that I bought. It's a leather bound journal, and a friend gifted me with some Etsy money for my most recent birthday, and I have always wanted a leather bound journal. I wanted one that looked like it was 200 years old, and that's what I bought. So you'll see that in some of my clips today as well. That's the one thing I never realized in my life, that I was interested in journaling. But I had notebooks everywhere when I was a child, and I was always writing things. And about 12 years ago, I felt a tap on the shoulder, and I felt like God was talking to me. And of course, I don't hear his voice, but I felt it inside. And he said, "You will write." And I said, "No, I'm not a writer. I can't do that." And he said, "You will write. I will help you write." I started a blog, and I soon learned that I enjoy writing. And I am a freelance writer. I write blogs and articles for other people. I help some people with writing on their website. That's not my expertise, but blogging, I have probably written thousands of blogs. So there is a pattern that I follow as a freelance writer as I write blogs for others. And I'll just briefly go through those steps that I follow. I do research, of course. I go out and I fact check. And then I create an outline. And that outline will consist of probably 4 numbering sects. One will be the opening. The next one will be information about the topic. The next one down may be helpful information, number 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then 4, I work on a closing. Now, of course, you know that there's more than 4 segments to a blog sometimes. But that's how I look at the blog before I actually get it started. I think of it in terms of 4 segments. So now I would love to share with you what my struggles are as a writer. And these are pretty common struggles to writers. I want to say authors, but authors are writers. So these are pretty common struggles. Now, if you're an author, or if you don't have special interest, let's say if you're an author of a book, sometimes it's hard to come up with the next page. What are you going to say? If you are a blogger, sometimes you run out of ideas about what you want to write about. This doesn't happen to me so much, and I'll explain that in a little while. I remember it happening some. I think that's why the one blog that I have, it's for my writing services. That's Reliance Outsourcing. I have trouble figuring out what to write about there because I do so much freelance writing that it just happens. I get paid for it, and I'm not thinking of creative ways, titles, and things that I can write about in that blog. So it remains pretty static. And like I said, Annie's Goat Hill's pretty much retired. There is his Pasture Press, which I'll get into why that's not updated very often. And then there's the coaching blog. I also have a coaching YouTube channel. And oftentimes what I vlog on YouTube, I turn around and I blog on my coaching pages. It's hard to keep up with. I'm very busy. So let's talk about some of the struggles as an author. And I'm going to read these. Getting started on writing tasks. Yeah, what do I write about? Now, because I don't sit and freely write creativity all day long, I write for others. I'm a freelance writer. I have to get started. There is no not getting started. The best thing I have found as an author is you write when you feel good. For me, that's often first thing in the morning. It's when I feel good. Sometimes I don't do the research for a blog on the same day that I write it. It sort of gives me a break. And I have found that when I have stumbling blocks in my writing, especially when I've created an outline or I've just done the research, if I step away, maybe I get out in nature, maybe I take a walk, maybe I go out and absorb some sunshine, or maybe I take a ride. You better have pen and paper with you, because you will feel like you have to write every single thing down. I carry a journal with me always. So we also struggle with distractibility. Yes, I can't talk to someone else and write. I can't listen to conversations and write. Even music with words distracts me. So I love to listen to music while I write. That is simply instrumental. Mental fatigue. This is a biggie. There's a lot of people out there that they've said to me, well, I'm physically tired. Well, you can get mentally tired really easy. Ask me how I know this. Writer's block, we just talked about that. Lack of confidence. Have you heard of imposter syndrome? I have a vlog out there under my coaching page that talks about imposter syndrome. My goodness, they're going to figure out I don't know what I'm doing. My goodness, I did okay with that assignment and that blog came out really nice, and they're going to expect perfection every single time. And even though I strive to be right as well as I can, one of these days my face is going to hit the desk and I'm not going to be able to write again. Flat out imposter syndrome, flat out lack of confidence. And this happens in the best of writers. It just happens. Finding the time. This is huge. I'm a freelance writer, so I make the time to write, but finding the time to write for me, finding the time to write for His Pasture Press, which is the creative writing, I am tired by the time I get to that. And as a creative writer, I miss that in my life. I miss being able to feel those feelings and feel spiritual, and the joys and the ups and the downs and the things that I want to share with other people. Finding the time to write that is extremely difficult. If I had nothing else to do, I would create or write all day long. Other than some of my other hobbies like vlogging and going out and fiddling around with photography. I am far from being a professional with that. Now, the other struggle is editing your own errors. And you'll see in this video that I get out all the pens and all the markings, and that's not, when you see the highlighters, I use those a lot of time for research. Like, I have to look at things, and I should say text, in different manners. I can look on a website and do some research and find some facts. But then I also have to copy and paste and print them off and highlight the sections that I really want to use. I need more than one format in my life, in other words. When I'm editing my own work, I can't edit what I've written an hour before. I have to let the work sit, and this is very common. You don't see your own errors until later. So what I do is, when I finish a piece that I'm going to be paid for and I'm writing for a client, for example, I have to set it aside for a few minutes, maybe have lunch, maybe take a walk. I run it through 2 grammar checks, and then I print the piece off, and I have to look at it on paper and on print. When I see the different format, it's more easy for me to see any errors that I've made, because I'm always reading things out loud. If it doesn't sound right when you speak it, it's probably not right in writing. It's a complicated process, and I have to share with you one of the biggest mistakes I ever made. I enjoy proofreading and editing the work of others, not whole books. but maybe something that they're going to post on social media, or maybe a blog post. I've even edited the text on YouTube videos for people, and I totally enjoy this. But you have to follow a certain process, or else you don't edit so well. You have to first check for spelling, and then check for grammar, and then check for sentence structure, and then check for, does this sound right? Does this sentence fit in? Well, I had a friend that had hired me, and she's not a close buddy friend, but she's been a long time friend, probably for the last 12-15 years, more of a business associate. And she asked me, are you for hire? And I was like, yes. And she gave me a job to edit after a couple of other jobs she had me working on. And she wanted to post this to her blog the following day. Because she was a friend, I set everything aside. It had been kind of a stressful mumble-jumbled day. The bad news about this is I treated her as a friend and not a client. So I read what she said, and I thought, this sounds like her. I found no spelling errors. I found no grammar problems. And I sent it back to her, and she uploaded and posted the blog. Well, within moments of posting it, someone wrote to her and said, what is this line in this blog? This doesn't belong. Well, my friend / client was furious with me. She says, what is it that you do? Why did you not find this? All I could do was apologize. I couldn't tell her, well, I considered you a friend, so I moved your work up front to the top of the list. I couldn't tell her I listened to your voice. I couldn't tell her that that particular line didn't sound out of place to me because I could hear her speaking through the line. I learned some big lessons through that one. I learned immense lessons. Well, number one is, if you're already tired and you're already stressed, don't take new work on. Think, oh, they're a friend. I'll get through this. This will be simple. No. You treat them as you do any other client. You do the work when you're fresh in your head. You seriously think about, what are they saying here? You don't listen for the person's voice, except if what they're saying doesn't fit in with the rest of their style. Then you may need to make a suggestion and say, this doesn't sound like it fits in here. That's where I flubbed. So I just wanted to share that with you. Now, I'm going to share some funny things with you. There's a particular channel that I watch, and another one that I watch. Actually, there's two of them, and that just reminded me of some of the funny things that I do is I can write better than I can speak. So sometimes when I can't come up with words, I have to picture the words in writing, in text in my head. It drives me nuts when I hear people say things that just don't sound quite right to me. And one of those items is, I'm going to share with you this vlog. Instead of, I would write, I'm going to share this vlog with you. It's common to say, I'm going to share with you this vlog. And I want to edit the words. I don't want to say you've done something wrong, but in my head I'm thinking, I want to edit these words. It's funny stuff. These are funny things that we do. I want to proofread emails after I've sent them. It's a horrible habit, and I don't have time for this, but I'll go back and read my email because I love to write. I love clicking away at that keyboard. I love it. I love it. But I'll go back and I'll proofread in my own. I read it, and I'm like, there's a mistake. Why did I say that? Oh, I could have used a better word. It drives me bonkers, and maybe I am. I see errors all over the place. I see them in newspaper. I see them in social media. I see them in blogs. I see them on billboards. I see them in the windows of stores. I see them on whatever. And it absolutely drives me crazy because I see it. It's like right in front of my face. We get all these spam emails these days. And I know we're all getting real good at this, but if you look at a spam email long enough, you're going to find something wrong with it. And I'm really super good at doing this because I write. I edit others' work. I can be writing a blog for someone and doing research on some of their other blogs on their site, and I find errors, and I have to email my clients and say, I know I'm not working on this blog right now, but I see an error and I thought you'd want to know. So yeah, these are funny to me because it just becomes this creative writing and this editing just becomes so much of our life. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope I haven't left anything out. I don't know if I call myself a professional writer, but I've been writing for more than 12 years. And like I said, I've probably written thousands of blogs. I have books out there, and I am an author. I will say I am an author. And I love to write. I worked with a person that she had written a book, and it was very hard to work with her. So I don't enjoy editing others' books. Proofreading a book for a friend, yeah. So let me know, if you've struggled with writing, or if you were a writer, or what you've experienced as a writer. And I welcome you to my channel. If you've enjoyed this video, and you haven't hit subscribe, please hit it for me, or please hit like. It helps my channel out. And if you feel this video can help someone else, sharing is definitely caring. Please share. Have a great day. God bless.